Alright, so this is a tutorial for layering one of my pet mandalas. This is my white doggy here. The supplies I use for this is cardstock. You can use 65 to 80 pound cardstock for this in your choice colors. I'm going to be using a glitter and a white. I'm also using my Cricut machine to cut this out. I have already cut these out by uploading the SVG files to Design Space and cutting them out on my Cricut machine, using the corresponding settings, of course, which would be the cardstock and the glitter cardstock. I'm also going to be using a weeding tool and a foam tab tape here for me to assemble my doggy mandala. So I'm using 3D foam tape. You can find this on Amazon, craft stores, and I'm using a weeding tool here to be able to get the little sticky backs of the foam tabs off a little bit easier. So to get started, after I've of course cut out my template on my Cricut machine or a similar cutting machine, I'm going to start placing these foam 3D tabs on the back of my first layer. The best thing to do when you're working with this is to make sure you're placing these foam tabs in areas where they're not going to show through when you flip the design the correct direction. So you may want to just pause and flip your design to make sure the foam tabs are sitting behind the paper and not showing through. I generally work around the edges and a few spots in the middle to make sure that the design is well supported and that nothing is going to be like at a weird angle when it's stuck onto the base piece of our paper. You can follow this method no matter which one of my dogs, kitties, or any other animals that I have to create these mandalas. They're very simple in nature, and it's a very similar process no matter which shape animal that you are using. So I've placed foam tabs all around the back here. I've placed about 12 of them, just spread out evenly so that the design will be well supported once placed onto the base of my doggy here. The next step of what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my weeding tool and I'm going to just poke the back to release that paper so that now it is a sticky back, because these foam tabs come to where you have to remove the little paper to make it sticky. And using a weeding tool like this is really helpful because it's much easier to just poke it and pick it up rather than trying to pick at it with your fingernail. Once I've removed all those backs, I go ahead and flip over my intricate layer and line it up and place it straight on. Give it a firm press. Make sure everything is sticking well so that your design doesn't move. The next step will be to continue adding the rest of our details, our little tail, our face, and then of course the eyes and the nose pieces. Make sure you flip the design over so that it is facing the wrong direction. That way when you place your tabs, you know you're placing it on the back side and not the front side of your design. Repeat the process with placing all of your little foam tabs in all of those key spots. Go around the tops, kind of close to the edges, as well as in the center to make sure the design is well supported. Once you have added all your tabs, go through the process of removing those little paper backs so that it becomes sticky. And again, I use that weeding tool. It makes it much faster and easier. I'm going to place the little tail here first, just taking your time to line that up. And then once you line it up, just give it a press down to hold it in place. Same thing with the head here. I'm going to just line that up and give it a press down to hold it in place once I'm satisfied with the alignment. The last step here is to add our little mouth nose area and then our eyes and our nose on top of that. So I'm flipping this over again. I'm going to be adding those little foam tabs all around the design and then using that weeding tool to pull them up. Doing simple mandalas like this is a great craft to do, a great paper craft to do if you're a beginner with your Cricut machine or just a beginner paper crafter in general. It's a very simple craft to do. Your Cricut does a lot of the intricate work for you. It's really just the sticking with the tape part of things and lining things up. I'm adding those tabs to the eyes and the nose as well. and lifting up those little paper backs, and then I'm placing them. You can use the image on your screen to kind of just make sure you're placing everything in a symmetrical position on your doggy, because obviously it's kind of free for interpretation on where the eyes would go. But you can look at the screen to see where the eye placement is on the original image, or you can interpret it to your own liking. And there we have it. Our puppy is now complete. And like I said, you could use this with any of my other similar animal files. Very simple and easy process to layer, all very much the same way. If you're loving my picture that I'm about to show you here with the little 3D flower as a decorative accent piece at the top of the doggy here, there is a link for that below to show you how to build that very simple flower, and then you would just stick it on the same way with those foam tabs. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really loved sharing it with you. If you have a particular mandala or animal that you love, that you would love to see me create, then feel free to share that in the comments and I just might make it for you. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.